Hi, Michael Crow here. I want to spend some time talking with all of you about where we're headed with the evolution of the higher order design characteristics and objectives for the university. I came to ASU in 2002 and was given the honor of presenting a vision to the faculty, to the communities, to the leadership of Arizona. And this was a vision for the new American university. The vision was very much built around the notion of inclusion versus exclusion, research with purpose for public benefit, and then universities doing something that they had not typically done in the past, which is taking responsibility for the communities that we serve. All of that ultimately over time got rolled into our charter, and I'll come back to that in a second. But at the second level, beyond the highest aspiration, what's called our aspirational self, the charter, that which we aspire to be, that which we aspire to achieve, we had 8 design aspirations. These design aspirations were laid out to help us to define that specific set of things we wanted to undertake at ASU so that we would get 2 things: a higher probability of achieving the charter's aspiration and a higher probability of being something other than just another generic public university. These 8 were carefully curated from a series of philosophical and practical and logical critiques of American public universities about things that they weren't able to do. They weren't connected to their communities. They were unable to birth new disciplines at the rate that really ought to be done. They were overly focused on completely pure research as opposed to use-inspired research. And so all of those things were laid out as design aspirations. And so over many years, these design aspirations and ultimately what they became and how they were implemented became something that we were aspiring to work toward. Just like the vision statement itself, which was before we had a charter, took years to have people comment, structurally engage it, advance it, and so forth. And so our charter became official in 2014. Our design aspirations have been being implemented over a number of years. There's lots of ways that they've been implemented, lots of ways that they've advanced. All these things have enabled us to take student success levels to the highest levels of any institution of our type and to higher levels than anything we've ever achieved at ASU in our entire history. Now, at the same time, we're 20 years into this. ASU is very much driven by and focused on this concept of perpetual innovation and improvement, continuous innovation. And so with the 20 years of experience that we've had, we've gone back and looked at our design aspirations and have now come to the conclusion that we need to add one. We need to take one additional intellectual step. We need to start taking more responsibility, not just for the service to the communities that we're a part of, serving the communities that we're embedded in, but also how do we advance the university in ways in which all the things that we do, all the innovations that we create in teaching and learning and research, all the ways that we engage in new ways of understanding human development and human aspirations, all the things that we're doing scientifically and so forth. How do we focus all that we're doing in a principled way? So it's more than just taking responsibility for a particular kind of improvement in the society or a particular kind of improvement in the technological base that can help society. It is the notion that principled innovation becomes a design aspiration of all that we do within the institution. Now, a good definition of that would be a set of practices that draw from values, character, civic, and intellectual assets as a part of the overall decision-making process in what we do. That is what we're calling principled innovation. Principled innovation is important because innovation moves very, very fast. How do we be more intentional in our decision-making processes? How do we think about the impact that we're having as an institution? Because the things that we're doing are creating waves of innovation, waves of change across society. How do we take and consider the impacts that we're having? We're not just a random producer of things that we don't really care what the outcomes are. We do care. We have principles. There are principles that we abide by. There are principles that we live by. There are principles that we're attempting to advance. And we need to make sure that all of our practices, all that we do, can help us to develop practical wisdom and practical outcomes from these experiences that we have and drive this forward as a form of principled innovation. In 2023, we're going to begin rolling out this alignment of our current practice and current achievements with the 9th design aspiration, practice principled innovation. And it will state ASU places character and values at the center of decisions and actions. So why now? Well, we live in a very complex moment in time and space. We live in a moment where our democracy and all things about it have been put into dynamic stress in the last few years. We live in a moment where the rate of change is accelerating. For the university, we have to make certain that we stay the course, that we focused on principled innovation in addition to our other design aspirations. So we believe that we can lead the way in all that we do through our shared values. We believe that we can advance this new design aspiration. 2023 is our moment in time to talk about this, to roll this out, and we're also going to be getting a whole series of projects rolling forward with many of you across the entire university, across the entire ASU public enterprise in 2023 to get this all underway. So welcome your input, and you'll be getting some material from us shortly. Thank you.